Welcome back, everyone. Episode 110 of the Big Easy Blitz podcast. I'm Connor Donnelly. Of course, Brock's down there. And before we introduce our guest, Brock, got anything to say?
I happy to be back. Real quick, this episode is brought to you by Mercado, Connor.
3750 Williams Boulevard, 70065, Kenner, Louisiana. It's got good stuff. Owen, you should check it out, man.
Will
If
do, will do.
if slash when you come down to New Orleans.
Absolutely.
But
All right,
Owen,
Owen,
why don't
where
you
can the people
plug your
find you? Yeah.
socials? Yep.
Absolutely. Guys, my name's Owen Williams. I'm the host of Auburn After Dark podcast. We do weekly content on the Auburn Tigers. Username Auburn After Dark on all socials. And if y'all need to find me, and you guys can DM me, send me whatever. You guys go check my content out, like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton.
There
Hell
you
yeah.
go. And we'll pop up his page on the
Yes.
on the broadcast real quick.
And the way this episode's going to work, I'm kind of going to be emceeing it, and I'm going to let Brock and Owen dictate everything. So we're going to go through some tiers of different SEC teams. Then, of course, Owen's going to go into Auburn. Brock will go into LSU. And then at the end of everything, each of them are going to give a sleeper team and then a team that they think is going to implode. Last year, Brock and I were clowning this one guy who said LSU was going to implode. This was before the season started, and we were wrong. We're just going to put it like that. We were wrong. But Owen, let's go ahead and start with you. Who do you have scraping the bottom of the barrel in the SEC this year?
Bottom of the barrel in the SEC. There's a couple obvious ones for me. I think you've obviously got Kentucky. I don't see them doing much this year. Also, bottom of the barrel, Vanderbilt. I think they take a step back after Pavia's gone. Starting a true freshman quarterback, I don't see them. I don't see them doing very well this year, especially with their schedule. So we got Kentucky and Vanderbilt at the bottom, and then your other obvious choice, Arkansas. Ryan Silverfield, first
Yeah.
year head coach. I just don't see it panning out for him.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with two of those. With Arkansas and Kentucky. My other two are maybe shock some people. One of them is Mississippi State. That one probably doesn't shock many people. Mississippi State and Arkansas are kind of in the. I think I put it one way, Connor. They're always at the bottom. Like they're
Yeah.
never really gonna exceed in football. They have their other sports. Mississippi State has baseball. Same with Arkansas. Arkansas also has basketball. I also have Kentucky, like you said, and then Tennessee. I'm not high on Tennessee at all. I think they lost way too much. They don't really have a quarterback right now. They have the freshman in Faison Brandon. I think I'm saying that right, who
Yep.
seems to be emerging in camp. But I just like same with Vanderbilt. A true freshman quarterback in the SEC is not going to go well. So I have Tennessee down there as my kind of like bottom of the barrel tier.
You're certainly going to ruffle some feathers with that one. You're not going to hear any complaints from me. And if you're a devoted listener to this podcast, you know I have some serious beef with Tennessee that dates back to LSU basketball with Grant Williams when he was there. But I agree with you, Brock, in the sense that I don't think Tennessee is going to be as good as people are making it out to be. We'll see that. I mean, LSU goes over there later in the year, and then I agree with both of y'all that Kentucky and Arkansas are not going to be good.
Yeah, what is the beef between you and Tennessee basketball?
I haven't this
Yeah, yeah, I
I
want to
haven't
know.
talked to you about this.
I don't think I've
I
heard
just
this
could
yet.
never stand Tennessee, and also their uniforms just do not do it for me. Their black uniforms are
Really?
nice. I don't like the white and orange. I really don't.
Wow. Okay. I mean, Tennessee baseball, I could have understood that. Like,
And
if you want to
yeah,
hate them.
and Tennessee baseball. Remember last year with this
Oh
guy,
yeah. I
his
mean,
name eludes me, but he got into it with Jared Jones,
oh,
and
two
we
years
were
ago.
talking a lot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Tigua.
understand that.
And
Their
T,
baseball team, their
yeah.
baseball team.
Hmm.
God,
Yeah.
don't even get me started. All right.
Me either.
All right, baseball season is behind us. We're moving into football season, Brock. But
Yeah.
what you got for kind of the middle teams in the SEC this year?
So my middle tier teams in the SEC. One of these is probably going to surprise you, but first of all, I've got the Florida Gators, another first year head coach. I do think Summerall was a guy that Auburn was really high on when it came to the coaching search, and I was as well. I said that in my podcast.
Hmm.
I do ultimately end up with think we got the right guy, but I think Florida is going to take some time to get the wheels turning over there. Uh, one other one, or let's do two. We'll do two more. The Missouri Tigers. I think they're inevitably always the middle tier SEC team,
100%.
and I don't know if they ever get out of that rut, but that's fine with me. I'm not a huge fan of their head coach. So after what he did in Jordan Hare last year, but the other one for me, and this will probably ruffle some feathers, the Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, I love
Oh,
it. Oh,
wow. Let's
I
go.
absolutely love that.
I I don't think they have the right guy at head coach.
I
I
agree.
don't. I do think they have the best quarterback in the country.
I no arguments here.
Yeah.
I do not think they have the right guy at head coach. When they named him head coach, I was like, oh, this is an interim. And I was like,
Hmm.
no, it says head coach. It doesn't say interim anywhere. It was the weirdest thing to me. I
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss takes a serious step back. If you look at the betting odds for Ole Miss this year, their win total sitting at 7.5.
That's crazy.
It's really at 7.5.
That's crazy.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. It's
Okay.
sitting at 7.5. I do think they have the best quarterback in the country. I think they have one of the best running backs in the country with Keenan Lacey.
Hmm.
But I, I just don't think they have the right guy at the helm.
Okay,
I
Brock,
mean,
before we get into you, let's just run through this Ole Miss schedule. So you
It's
start with
brutal.
Louisville. I think that
mhm.
actually could be a toss-up game. I think Louisville could be sneaky this year, better than people think at least. Then you have Charlotte, LSU, Florida in the swamp. You go to Vanderbilt, you get Mizzou at home, you go to Texas, you get Auburn and Georgia at home, then you go to Oklahoma, and then you get Mississippi State at home. 7.5, actually looking at it, it makes more sense than I would have initially thought.
I do want to point out, Connor, I do want to point out that that Ole Miss Auburn game is played on Halloween night.
Mm.
In Jordan Hare.
No, not in Jordan
Oh,
Hare, but there's some crazy stuff that goes on when Ole
Crazy
Miss and
things could
Auburn play.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, when there's some crazy stuff that goes on when they play each other, and it being on Halloween night, you can't tell me there's not gonna be something spooky going.
yo. I mean, dude, you're speaking my language. I cannot stand Ole Miss. Like, I'm starting to hate Ole Miss more than Alabama. Like,
Oh
that's how
wow, that's saying something.
I know.
Yeah, especially coming from an Auburn guy.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I get
Yeah.
in that boat, but
That's understandable. But I feel like Ole Miss when they hired um guy's name, Golding, sorry. When Ole Miss
yeah,
hired
keep going.
Golding, it felt like it was like they were so embarrassed that like Giffen would just pry it away from them.
Right.
They had to hurry up and hire somebody. And like be like, this is our guy, like we're standing with him. And then they go out and beat Tulane in the playoff. Okay. They did beat Georgia, but I think that was more uh Trinidad Chambliss and
That
Keyvon
was
Lacey just
Trinidad doing Trinidad stuff.
yeah. I mean, that was incredible by Trinidad. But I do think, like you said, they're kind of a two-headed monster, and that's it. It's really just Trinidad, Lacey, and nobody else. Like they lost plenty of guys, whether it be the draft or the portal in general. Some of them are at LSU now. Just I love it. I love that you have Ole Miss in the middle of the pack. And also, can you please enlighten us? What did Drinkwitz do to Auburn? I
Oh
must have
man.
missed that.
So, Auburn having the year they had last year, at losing games in the fashion that we lost them, heartbreaking all year long. Games that were up at halftime should have won, and then we inevitably end up finding the worst, most heartbreaking ways to lose them. So we get beat by Missouri. You look on the sidelines after the game, and Drinkwitz is standing on top of essentially one of the giant water coolers
Mhm.
and like yelling at Auburn fans.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, how low? Like, you're a head coach, you're not a player.
And it ain't like Missouri went anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like y'all are doing anything. Y'all have one good player on your team.
Hmm.
yeah. I, dude,
But I mean,
Mi-
you're standing up, like pointing at the cameras, yelling at Auburn players, and I'm like, man, this is brutal to watch. You're a grown man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that is
it was brutal.
God. I
Bad
mean,
look.
It was a bad
Mizzou.
look.
Missouri's never going to win anything in the SEC. I'm very comfortable saying that. They are the epitome of a mid team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ever since
I
they
mean,
had Brady Cook was his
yeah,
name
yeah,
over
Yes,
Brady
there.
Brady
Cook.
Cook.
Hmm.
That's the best that Missouri football will ever be. I am fully prepared to die on that hill. A 10
I
and
do
2
think
season. where you beat Ohio State when everybody
Yes.
opted out. That's the best they'll ever do.
Yeah, I do think they have the best running back in the country. Like
I
you're
agree.
not going to see me
Who?
Yeah.
push. Yeah, you're not going to see
Yeah.
me push back on that at all. I think Ahmad Hardy's amazing. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think he's in a good situation at Missouri. Like you
Yeah.
said, they're a mid team.
Hmm. I don't think Ahmad Hardy's going to play this year too. There's reports that he might not even,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which would suck.
I
But
hate that for him because the dude's a monster.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Product of ULM.
Yeah,
UL Monroe.
Yes.
Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out
Uh,
the
but
Warhawks.
yeah, go Warhawks, man. But I'll move on to my mid teams, my mid tier. That's so funny to say. But I got four teams. I'll go South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Florida, and Missouri. I mean, really just they're mid. There's not really much to talk about. South Carolina is the one team that I could see
Yeah.
go shoot above that because they have so much talent around that roster. With Lenore Sellers, will this be the year that he finally like proves himself and lives up to the hype? They got Dylan Stewart on the outside, who they paid a lot of money to keep in Columbia. Or yeah, Columbia. Sorry, I get
Columbia.
them
Yeah,
Columbus mixed up all the time. I mean every time. They also got Nick Harbor on the outside, who I just personally think he's overrated just because he's fast in EA. I literally think that's the only reason people think he's so good.
yeah.
But if they can put it all together, they can be surprising. I haven't looked at their schedule, so I don't know what it looks like. I'll pick Connor if you have it uh
The
pulled
South
up. Like
Carolina schedule. I can pull it
yeah.
up real quick.
And while he looks it up, I'll talk Florida. We are friends of Summerall. He's a friend of the pod.
He is.
Uh, I did think he was going to Auburn, but I think that Auburn needed an offensive mind instead of another defensive mind in there.
I agree.
Obviously, Hugh Freeze didn't work out, but a better offensive mind with Golish would have fit better for Auburn.
I
But I
agree.
do think they're a couple years away from that. Connor, you got that pulled up?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
yeah.
I got it pulled up. So they got really three layups to start the year, all at home. Kent State, Towson, and then Mississippi State. Then you go to
Okay.
Alabama, then you get Kentucky at home, go to Florida, you get Tennessee at home, go to Oklahoma, get A&M at home, go to Arkansas, get Georgia at home, and then you travel to Clemson.
I mean, 7-5 is
Yeah,
written all over that.
yeah.
It
Six and
for an
six, seven and
SEC
five.
Yeah.
schedule. For an SEC schedule, all things you're going to get a big dog no matter what. You get Georgia at
Yeah.
home,
Loss.
and you go to Bama.
Loss. Yeah, loss.
That may
Like,
I mean,
I think it depends on. I mean, last year how that game went, but
yeah,
I think it depends on what Alabama's quarterback situation looks like then.
that's
yeah,
true.
we'll get
Very
there.
true.
Yeah. hmm
That's yeah. I mean, if they go 6-6, Shane Beamer's gone. Like he has to
Oh
be.
yeah, he's gone.
I mean, you were so close to making the playoff in Sellers' first year, and then it's just been worse and worse every year. Didn't they go 4-8 last year? If I'm not,
Mm. I think
I
that's
mean,
right.
Now,
uh,
Owen, Brock and I, if you would have listened to these pods we did before the season last year talking about South Carolina, you would have thought we were born and raised in the Palmetto State. We had South
Yeah.
Carolina, I think I might have had them top like six last
yeah,
year.
that
Now,
was
I don't think Brock was as bullish on them as I was, but we
So
both had them making the playoffs
yeah
comfortably.
for yeah. I
so
think I had them 9-3,
this
10-2.
is
Yeah.
this is a funny story. I was at when the South Carolina Alabama game was on. I
Hmm.
was with my fiance at a baby shower. And for some reason, they had the game on in the corner. And it's like everybody's over here watching this very sweet girl open stuff up
Right.
for her baby. And I'm over in the corner and I'm like, please just beat Alabama. Please just beat Alabama. I was like, please, you're right there.
That
Now, if
shows
I'm
the
not mistaken, Brock and I think we were in Tiger Stadium when that was transpiring.
uh
Because I remember like slowly checking my phone and them
think
just getting
so.
closer and closer and closer.
So I think so. I think you're right, but that just shows the SEC fandom. By the way, I mean,
Yeah.
at a baby shower and you hate watching your rival. I mean,
I was,
there's nothing better. There's absolutely nothing better. Uh, but yeah, I mean, South Carolina. I really, if they don't put it together this year, Beamer's out of there,
100%.
and I mean, Sellers just continues to hurt his draft stock, in my opinion. Like, I think he should have left last offseason. I
I
truly think
agree.
he should have left and gone uh, maybe Oregon. I went down. I thought Dante Moore was going to leave, but I thought Oregon would have been a good fit for him. Even like Tennessee is another one that I think Hypo could have fixed him a little bit, but I think he's just continuously going to hurt his draft stock if he stays. And I mean, he has to stay. He's back, but
If he
Beamer's
stays
just,
in, yeah, it's just pitiful.
yeah, he's a player's coach that
Yeah.
really can't do much else. And that's if up to South Carolina if they want to keep that or let him go.
Yeah, looking at South Carolina's record last year, they were 4-8. That's a
Yeah.
bad look for the Gamecocks. Now we're gonna move on to the teams that I guess we could say slightly above average. Y'all got a couple teams that would
Mhm.
qualify for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to go first for me?
I'll go real quick because I have three of them.
Okay.
I do have Auburn. Uh,
Love
Not
that.
just because you're on. I actually do. I am pretty high on Auburn. I have Alabama just because of the quarterback situation, and then Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss in there. They could be good. They could be bad. It's just those three. It's a toss up right now.
Oh, what about
Yeah, I can I think the Auburn Alabama is exactly same for me. I've got those two in there. Also not just because I run an Auburn podcast. I think the team's gonna be much better than we have been in the past. We can't be much worse. So I think we're gonna be much better than we have been in the past. Alabama still has question marks at the quarterback position,
Hmm.
and it's starting to look more and more like Kalen DeBoer is just hating Tuscaloosa, and I can't blame him. But my third team that I have in there, not being a top tier team, but one of those teams that I think is just above average is Texas.
Whoa, really?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I
Uh,
gotta ask you, is there a little vendetta there because of the Coleman
so
situation?
not really, not to me. I do think a lot of Auburn fans are salty that we lost Cam Coleman, and I'm not saying that I was happy about it at all. I do like Cam Coleman. I do genuinely think can be the best wide receiver in the country. I really do. I think he was put in a bad situation at Auburn,
Hmm.
much like every other player here.
Right.
But I think it more to me is what does Byron Brown need this year for Auburn? And that is consistent playmaking catches and an offense that knows the system. And would it be awesome to have a Cam Coleman? Sure. But we don't necessarily need that this year. Like, yes, we have three wide receivers, and I don't think if you put the three of them together, they would be Cam Coleman. But they know the system and they've played with Byram
Hmm.
and they know exactly what to do before the ball snapped. They're not learning a new system. I don't think we need a Cam Coleman on the roster to do what we need to do this year.
Very well said. Me and Connor talked about this before, but LSU, I think Lane Kiffin had a quote kind of about he wasn't directly talking about Cam Coleman, but it was clearly about Cam Coleman. It was essentially like, why would you go out and pay one guy really good money and have a bunch of okay guys behind him instead of going to pay a bunch of guys that are good and can elevate an offense and know the system, and you could profit off that. So it
Yeah,
looks like Auburn did kind of the same thing. I feel like they had the whole South Florida offense too, so that should be an easy
yeah.
transition for them.
It should be.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. Uh,
Now, Owen,
I had something else to say, and I completely forgot what it was. Go ahead, Connor.
we'll get to you in a sec. Last year, well, I think this was my best take of the entire college football season. Everybody was extremely angry with me when I said I had Texas missing the college football playoff going into last year. Brock, I think were they the first? Were they the number one team going into last year? Or were they two?
Yeah, yeah, they were one
They
They
because
were
were
yeah,
one.
one.
they were one.
And I predicted them to go 8-4 and miss the playoffs. Now they went 9-3, I think, during the regular season. So I'm
Hmm.
right there with you on the Texas disbelief. I didn't think Arch Manning was gonna be all that last year. This year, I think it's gonna be different. I really do. But I'm all for
I
doubting
do
Texas, if you will.
I do think he'll be better this year, but
Hmm.
I'm still not on the train of
Right,
like
like
Heisman Arch. Like I don't see it.
yeah, I'm right there with you. And I mean, he's not even the Heisman favorite. I believe it was
No,
C.J. Carr when it
it's Carr.
initially
Yeah,
came
Yeah,
out. Right.
which is
So.
that's baffling. That's CJ
Yeah.
Carr's.
insane.
Well, dude, if you look at Notre Dame's schedule, it is literally a cakewalk. It's a cake.
There's I could get on my soapbox about this one. Notre
Oh
Dame's
yeah,
got to get in the conference.
They have
Like
to. It's
it's
I
okay.
agree.
horrible.
We got a little
Agreed.
bit of time to spend. Maybe we'll have to rush a little bit. But I just want to go read you guys Notre Dame's schedule because I mean it. I think they're hard. I don't even know if they play Miami this year. Give me 1 second.
I don't. Yeah, I mean I know they play USC. That rivalry's back, but
No,
other than
oh
that,
wait, I think
I
they play Miami and not USC. I think that's what it is. Yeah, okay.
So no,
So they play Miami.
I know for a fact the next 2 years they start their season with Auburn.
Yes,
ooh, that'd
I
be a
did
fun
see some
matchup.
about that. Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Notre Dame's schedule. You start with Wisconsin. Okay, that's not that bad. But then listen to this next 5 game stretch. Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Stanford. And then you get BYU, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, and then Syracuse. This team has to be in a conference. This school has to be in a conference.
It's like they don't join a conference, but then they take the worst teams from every other conference to play, except the SEC. They refuse to play the FCC. Except, I
Hey,
mean,
they played Arkansas
they
last
played
year.
Arkansas last year, and that was a bloodbath. But
Yeah. And
other than that,
They play Auburn
Yeah.
next year. So
I just like Owen said, I could do a whole pod on my hatred for Notre Dame.
Hey, and this is
okay.
coming from a Notre Dame guy. I'm a Notre Dame guy, Irish Catholic. I mean,
Oh my God,
but they
I
need to get in a conference.
could do a pod on the amount of teams that Connor likes too. I mean,
Okay, all right.
you want to talk about just jumping around, Owen?
I,
Can
I
we move on to our top teams?
we'll
Can we
move
get
on.
back on
We'll
the
move on, Brock. I'll spare you. Oh, and why
yeah?
don't you go ahead and get into your top teams?
My top team's in the SEC. So I've got a couple here, and this may surprise a few people. I do have Texas A&M
Hmm.
being towards the top. Uh, I personally, I really like Marcel Reed,
That makes two
and
of us. That makes two of us.
I really like what they did last year. I do think they underperformed when it came to the playoffs, but I, another year of development for Marcel Reed
Hmm.
and that offense, and I think that they're going to be just fine. So I have Texas A&M. I also have, the obvious Georgia. Um,
Yeah,
I think there's a serious possibility that Georgia doesn't lose a game this year until they get in the playoffs.
I completely agree.
And from an Auburn guy, I really hate saying that.
Yeah, I mean Auburn is absolutely screwed with the like the seasonal teams that they have to
Oh
play
yeah,
with Bama, Georgia, and I don't even know who the other one is, but that
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. Okay, so I guess you get that, but I mean
We get yeah.
Bama and Georgia every year is brutal.
I'm to be completely honest, Vanderbilt's had our number the past
Yeah,
3 years, so
that I think their Cinderella story's over. Like
I do
I
too.
don't think.
Pavia's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pavia's gone. I don't.
Well, maybe. I mean, with
But
the new rules, he might be back. Who knows at this
it's
point?
Hey,
true.
the Ravens cut him. I mean, he's a
Uh,
free agent.
didn't one school just got a guy back? Just got an O lineman back. I
Really?
want to say, I don't. I'll look it up real quick. Well, oh, sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Oh no, you're fine. But yeah, I have Georgia. I think Gunnar Stockton's going to be in the talks of Heisman when it comes, especially by the time that Auburn goes to Georgia. I think people are going to be looking at Gunnar Stockton like he's really that dude because
Hmm.
last year, Auburn and Georgia is always a tough game, but you go into last year and people saying Gunnar Stockton is just a game manager, and he didn't show it in that game. He put his
Mhm.
body on the line for that game. But I do have Georgia and Texas A&M towards the top of my list for the SEC this year.
I love it. Where do you have LSU? I might have missed
Uh,
that.
so you said I have them in the same tier as Auburn.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have missed that. But
No, you're
that's
good.
fair.
I don't think I even ended up saying them. I
Okay,
just chose three teams.
it's fair. All right. So I have five in the top tier. So I had Texas A&M, similar to what Owen said. I just think their defense is gonna be outstanding every year with Mike Elko at the helm, and their offense returning Marcel Reed's huge for them. And then I have Texas as well, who is the team that had the offensive lineman, Cole Hudson. He went to Dallas Cowboys and Cleveland Browns minicamp, and now is returning to NCAA college football after winning a legal lawsuit. Something needs to change. I
2026
mean,
college sports, baby.
I mean, that's ridiculous, but I'll move on. And then I have LSU, Georgia, and then my biggest, I'll say Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is going to
Oklahoma.
be fantastic this year.
I could see that.
I could talk more about them later, but I think they're gonna be very, very good.
I could see that.
I agree with both of you. I think A&M is going to be very robust this year. Last year, they cleared out Tiger Stadium. It was something that I didn't even think was possible. Brock, I don't know if Brock was at that one or not, but I certainly was there. And I was there until, the fat lady sang, as they say. And you look across, so the student sections in, okay, just say like the left end zone, and I was looking over to the right side of the stadium, just straight maroon. It was unbelievable. Something I never thought would happen in Tiger Stadium. And
Well,
it's Marcel Reed. I think that guy, sleeper for the Heisman. I don't even know if you can call him a sleeper at this point, but I think he's going to be right up there in the mix, like you said about Gunnar Stockton.
there was a point last year where he was actually in the lead for a couple weeks
Hmm.
for Heisman voting,
It was probably
and
after
it
he
was
cleared out LSU, to
Yeah.
be honest.
I think it was I think it was about halfway through the season. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but then they got the playoffs and they completely fell apart. So,
Really broke my heart to see that happen. Uh,
Did you see that happen, Brock?
well, I saw them fall apart in the playoff. Yes, I did.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on, Connor,
Let's
please.
move on, shall we? All right. So I guess that wraps up the tier list, unless y'all have anything else to add.
no,
No.
I mean I completely agree. I think we're both pretty much on the same page as
Hmm.
far as tier list goes.
I
I
think, yeah, I think the SEC is going to be back to more balanced as in
I
like years
just
past.
especially with the
Yeah.
non-conference games. I agree.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'll designate a couple minutes to each of you, starting with Owen. Auburn, new head coach, basically a new system. Talk to me about what you think, what you expect from the Tigers here in their 2026 campaign.
So the biggest thing I expect from Auburn this year, like I said, I kind of made my prediction earlier. I do think they're 7-5, 8-4 team. The biggest thing I really expect is to show signs of life on offense. Now, if you look at Alex Golesh and his previous tenures at USF and Tennessee, look at his time at Tennessee, 21 and 22. They had the best offense in the country,
Hmm.
and in those years, um, that's something Auburn. I mean, really, if you look at Auburn the past 5 years and look at the amount of one-score games that they've lost, that's been their biggest issue. The defense is there. The defense has never been a question at Auburn. And I think retaining DJ Durkin was a huge part of that. But I just want to see signs of life on offense
Hmm.
in games where, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, you put up 3 points against Kentucky at home, a Kentucky team that wasn't even good. And then last year, you're supposed to have an offensive minded coach, and you can't even score a touchdown in your own stadium against a bottom feeder in the SEC. I don't see that happening this year. You look at what they're doing in fall camp. You look at the culture that's being built at Auburn. It's something that I haven't seen in a long time. Bringing back that winning to be the most physical team on the field mentality. Uh, that he's just preaching day in and day out. Like he's over there yelling at players, getting in their face, telling them to be violent, telling them, words I can't even say on this podcast.
Family
Just,
friendly game.
just letting them, yeah, just letting them have it. And I love it. I think Auburn's been missing that for a long time, 5 years plus. I think they've been missing that since maybe even before Gus Malzahn. But I want to see signs of life on offense. I think there's a path to this team surprising a lot of people. Now, things have to fall into place, and I do think that starts and ends with Byron Brown.
Hmm.
This team, in my opinion, will go as far as Byron Brown will take them. You've got a guy that passed for 3,000 or rushed for 1,000 almost twice in his career. There's only less than a handful of guys that have done that. Two of them that are still in the NFL, Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. But you've got like he's in a group of guys that is so elite when it comes to that. 12 other people in the history of college football have ever done that. Now, granted, it's at a lower level of competition, but physicality and speed translates.
Mhm.
Football IQ
Hmm.
translates. I don't think I don't think Auburn's going to have any problems moving the football this year. This is a very rapid paced offense. and there's not a lot of subbing going on. I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for defenses that haven't seen it since they played Tennessee in 2021, 2022. Because I mean, you remember that's the year they went out and they beat Alabama and they made the playoffs, and that team was really good.
Hmm.
I think you're going to see that, and maybe not in the same light as making the playoffs this year for Auburn, but you're going to see that kind of offense, that kind of speed, and having Byron Brown at the helm, that just accentuates it. And if you look at the running back position, you've got a guy that I think people sleep on a lot in Jeremiah Cobb.
Hmm.
You got Jeremiah Cobb. If we would just handed him the ball a normal, if Hugh Freeze would have handed him the football a normal amount of times, he's a 1,000 yard rusher last year.
Wow.
That dude's a man. He was in the 900s last year, and we didn't run the football.
Which is
You've got Go
baffling,
ahead.
by the way. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
with
Oh, you're
a
good.
running quarterback and two stud running backs, they Auburn refused to try to run the ball.
Yeah, refused to run the ball. Hugh Freeze just wanted to throw it, and we had a quarterback that couldn't throw the ball. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that also brings me to I don't think Alex Golesh is going to be the same way Hugh Freeze is. He's shown the ability to adapt. We watched that Baylor game last year, and it's like, oh, we can run the football. Auburn can
Hmm.
run the football, and after that game, we just try to throw, and we can't do it. I mean, Hugh Freeze refused to run the ball. He just wouldn't do it. Like he wouldn't change his offensive identity to win football games. And that's already something Alex Golesh has said. He said, "I don't care how we have to win football games. We're going to do whatever it takes. Like I'll if we have to hand the ball to Jeremiah Cobb 1,000 times, if Byron Brown has to run every play, we're going to win. We're going to win ball games."
Hmm.
I think, like I said earlier, you look at that wide receiver core with Keyshawn Singleton, Chaz Nimrod, Christian Neptune, Jeremiah Coker, a lot of USF guys, but a lot of guys that have been with Byron Brown for a long time have been in the system. Love Alex Golesh, followed him to the school, and I think there's a reason they followed him. They know what he's building. They know what kind of culture he likes to build, and I think that's huge. I don't really have any questions on defense, to be honest with you. I don't know. I really don't even know if they take a step back from last year.
Hmm. I mean,
Uh, I'll,
you bring the the coordinator back, and they didn't really lose many guys, right? I mean, correct me if
you
I'm
didn't
wrong.
you didn't lose a ton. So you lose two key edge rushers in Keldrick Falk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, but you have a guy taking a step forward with Jared Smith that played significant snaps last year as a freshman that maybe he didn't have it all put together last year. But if you watch him in fall camp right now, it's like I wouldn't want to line up against that guy.
Yeah.
Like one snap after another, like that he's an animal. And you bring in Deshaun Womack, who's a leader, and I, that the defensive line, I had a lot of questions about when we first brought him in. Deshaun Womack, Cody Sigler, Dallas Walker returning, Jared Smith returning. I don't really have those questions anymore. It looks like they're gelling, they're coming together. And then you bring back and what, in my opinion, is the best linebacking core in college football.
Hmm.
You
Xavier
got
Atkins
Zay,
is that's
yes,
oh,
you got Xavier Atkins, you got Elijah Melendez, you got Bryce Diaz, you got, I mean, there's countless other names I could name, but those are your starting three. It's like one of those guys is already an All-American, and it almost looks like Elijah Melendez maybe better than he is.
that's that's
And
crazy.
and he's also built like it just dude looks like he's built in a lab. Like
I
he's
mean,
it's insane. Uh, Corners, I had little bit of a question about. I don't so much anymore. Alex Golesh in SEC Media Days saying that his transfer South Florida corner, Gavin Jenkins, is an NFL corner, was not on my bingo card in the offseason. But but it does bring to light that we're going to have a secondary, at least the corners that has Andre Jordan Jr. transfer from UCLA, who had the most pass breakups in the Big Ten last year, Gavin Jenkins and Rayshon Pleasant, who played a ton of snaps for Auburn last year. I have absolutely no worries about the secondary at all, especially when it comes to the corners we have starting and the safeties. The safeties are so loaded. I do like I think the two strongest positions on Auburn's roster is running back. I think three, running back, linebacker, and safety would be my three strongest positions on Auburn's roster. And you've got people coming back like Eric Winters, New Boy Fagans, Caleb Harris, Sylvester Smith. And then you've got a guy that Auburn took to ACC Media Days and Champ Anthony, and it's like, where do we put this guy? Like I didn't even have him starting this year, and then he goes to SEC Media Days and they're like, oh no, like Champ's gonna play everywhere. He's gonna play everywhere because he's that good. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Awesome. Give me all of it.
Yeah. I mean, you're making me want to pick Auburn to go to the playoff, to be
That
honest.
was quite the sales pitch.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
I
that.
mean, look, they might not be good this year, but I can almost guarantee Auburn will be back to what they used to be, like perennially 8, 9, 10 win team that beats Bama every once in a while too, because that's what you associate Auburn with. I mean, do they
Yeah.
beat Bama or do they not beat Bama? And then we'll
And
see.
The Bama Georgia game is really what makes or breaks it for a lot
Mhm.
of Auburn fans.
Yeah. When
Um,
was the last time y'all beat Georgia?
whew, um, it's been that long.
Wow. Hey, we
It's been a
feel you.
long time. It's been a long time. 5+ years.
Okay. So pre-COVID, you would say?
Pre-COVID, I don't remember if we beat them in 2019. I don't think we did. It's been a
Okay.
while.
Hey, we know
It's
what
been a
that
while.
feels like. I mean, we,
It's also been 5 years since we beat Alabama. So
I mean, LSU's beat Bama twice in the last like 15 years. So,
yeah,
and both of them were, one of them was on a game winner and the other one was just the greatest team ever. So
yeah.
Yes.
I do think that changes this year. But uh, hey, fantastic outlook on Auburn. Like I said, you make me want to sprinkle some money on Auburn going to the playoffs right now.
Hey, go
Uh,
for it.
y'all do have a couple familiar faces too. I mean, Xavier Atkins was an LSU Tiger. I hated to see him
hmm
leave after his freshman year, as he was highly touted out of high school. And he's obviously tearing it up at Auburn. I think he's gonna be a first round pick. Like I think that's
I do too.
a,
The only thing that worries me about him being a first round pick is I'm sorry to cut you off.
okay.
The only thing that worries me about him being a first round pick is his size.
Right, Owen. That wrapped up your phenomenal sales pitch, but give us a record prediction for the Tigers this year. The
I
Auburn
do
Tigers, that is. Sorry.
the Auburn Tigers, yes. I do think ultimately Auburn ends up going 8-4, and I can tell you where I have notable wins and where I have some toss up games. Now obviously September 5th, Baylor in Atlanta. I do ultimately have Auburn winning that, probably by multiple touchdowns. Second game of the season, Southern Miss. I think that's an easy one for Auburn and Jordan Hare. I do think the most important game of the season is Florida at Auburn,
Hmm.
week 3. I do have Auburn winning that game. I do think it's going to be a slug out, but I do have them winning that game, starting the season 3-0. Then you have Vanderbilt coming to Jordan Hare, true freshman quarterback Jared Curtis. His first SEC road start, think it's going to be tough for him, so I have Auburn winning that game. Auburn goes up to Knoxville. Alex Golesh going to see his mentor. Week 5, Auburn being a 4-0 football team, they go in there and they take care of business against Tennessee. We go into the bye week undefeated. I think unfortunately coming out of the bye week, we run into a buzzsaw that's Georgia, taking an L in Athens. I know it's a game that a lot of Auburn fans, myself included, want to win, being the Deep South's oldest rivalry. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think maybe if this game's in Jordan Hare, there's more of a conversation. But I do think Georgia is a very tough opponent this year.
Yeah.
Uh, the next game of the schedule, y'all could probably jump in on this too. Auburn versus LSU.
Yeah.
I unfortunately have Auburn losing this game, but I have a little asterisk beside it that says major toss-up game.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I do think, like you said, the start time of this game being in the morning, don't love it.
Hmm.
But being in Jordan Hare, I think with a team that I think could be pretty hot, maybe coming off a loss against Georgia, but a 5-1 football team, I could see this game going either way. As far as my record prediction, I have them losing this game, but I could see this game going either way.
I'll say this about that game. If you have a 5-1 Ole Miss or Auburn team and I think would be what I have, a 7-0 or 6-0 LSU team, and
Hmm.
Auburn finds a way to win that game, just be ready for the media to start saying Auburn's going to the playoff.
Oh yeah.
Like that's gonna
That
happen.
I would love it. I'd love to hear it. I do, like I said, I do think we'll inevitably end up losing that game, but
It'll be
um,
close. It'll be
I do. I think it's going to be a ball game. I really do. Week
Hmm.
after Halloween night at Ole Miss, I've gone back and forth on this game, but I do have Auburn losing to Ole Miss. As much as I want to say that they're not going to, I think it being in Oxford at night on Halloween of all nights, Trinidad Chambliss is going to do Trinidad Chambliss things. I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think it could be an upper 30s scoring game, but I do have them losing. But I think that's where the sadness stops for Auburn. I think 3 weeks in a row we go out there and we take care of business. Arkansas take care of business against Arkansas and Jordan Hare. Mississippi State and Starkville, those horrible, horrible cowbells. I don't really want to hear them, but I think they're going to get pretty quiet pretty quick when Auburn beats them. Sanford at home, I don't think there's much to talk about there.
Yeah.
And then my final toss-up game, the Iron Bowl. You know, from an Auburn fan's perspective, I want to win that game, but I do think Alabama finds their stride by then, and they have the quarterback situation figured out. And this game being in Tuscaloosa doesn't do Auburn any favors, so I think they end up losing that game for a final record of 8-4.
I
I
think
think
you
that's
nailed it. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
I mean, that Bama game is always a toss-up. It doesn't matter how good Bama is or how bad Auburn is, it's always close. And
Mhm.
I think Bama's either going to have found their stride, like you said, or it could be the complete 180. And
Yeah.
DeBoer may be out of there by then if they had lost 3 games or so. If they lose to Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU, he could be out of there, and Auburn could be looking at a possible if they win, they're in playoff
I
thing. So,
I do think DeBoer is more on the hot seat than a lot of people like to talk about.
oh yeah, and I
All right.
think he's comfortable being on the hot seat. I think you mentioned, I don't know if that was while we were still on air or off air, that DeBoer doesn't like Tuscaloosa anymore.
That
He
was
does
on
not.
air. That was on air. Yeah.
Okay.
He does. Yeah, yeah. And dude, I can reiterate that it's hard to like that place.
Oh, we have a friend who goes there. We know.
It's oh man, dude. It's I spent 10 weeks living down there. I never want to do it again.
Whew.
More
I
power to
I
you.
I refuse to go up there for a weekend.
Yeah,
Much less a 10
if
weeks.
if it wasn't for my job, I would not have. But I say that to say that like the board's not happy there.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no. I mean, you could see the way he talks to the media. Like, yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah.
getting paid. He's getting paid well, but
Hmm.
you got people that are yelling at you for a 9-3 season. Like,
That's I mean, I
That's
would
the
you
have
got
killed
standard.
for I would have killed for a 9-3 last year
yeah,
with that LSU team. Like with how
you
bad
got
it went.
you got people sitting there telling
Brock
you
would have
that like
killed it.
you've got to be Nick Saban year one, and it's like I think if there's any coaching job I would have never taken, it's whatever job Nick Saban left right
Oh,
after he left.
100%. 100%. Which is why I'm kind of scared that they will fire DeBoer because I think the next guy is going to be good because he's not going to have the Nick Saban.
Right.
Maybe not. I mean, right away he might, but I think it's going to slowly start to fizzle out.
The
I
expectation
have a
would be a
predict.
little
I have
lower.
a prediction. I have a prediction of who that next coach is, and y'all probably won't like it.
Oh, trust me, we do.
Oh
I think we
yeah.
have the same answer, and I'm dreading the day that that happens because I do
Yeah,
think Lane Kiffin will be the next Bama head
It is
coach.
inevitable.
Yeah,
yeah, I
great
agree.
segue there. I will start to get into the Lane Kiffin-led Tigers. Look, you've heard all offseason, $40 million roster, and I think it's more than that, to be honest. I just don't.
Oh yeah.
I I don't see a world where this team is allowed to miss the playoff, to be honest, which is what the media is saying. The media is kind of saying championship or bust. I do think it is playoff or bust. You can't go in a new age of college football where the transfer portal you can just reload and go right back to the playoff. We saw what I mean, teams like Indiana, even Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin when he was there. They you spend $40 million on a roster, you better make the playoff. And unfortunately, that's a world we live in now as an LSU fan. But I think they do make the playoff, but I'll talk about them from the inside up. We were kind of talking, joking off air that it's kind of hard to like run down LSU's roster because there's so many new faces. And like I asked Owen off air about Malik Blockton, who he was raving about him off air, and I really haven't really looked into him because there's so many other guys
He's a
everywhere.
dog. He's a
And
bomb.
he did talk highly of Malik Lockton, which I'm thrilled about, and even more thrilled that he's running with the twos right now. That a guy like that is running with the twos in training camp. So LSU on offense, they're going to be good. That's Lane Kiffin. I'm not worried about the offense whatsoever. They have Sam Levitt at the helm, and similar to what Owen said about Byron Brown, this team will go as Sam Levitt goes. If he's healthy and he's playing well, this team can go to the playoff. If he's not healthy and he's injured and he misses 5, 6 games like he did last year, we could be looking at another disappointing LSU season, unfortunately. But I think this team will be all right. I think they do go. I'll save that for the end. Let me move on to the defense. The defense is what I'm most excited about. Even with a Lane Kiffin led team, I'm more excited about the defense because you bring back pretty much everybody. I mean, you lose AJ Halsey and you replace him with Ty Benefield, who is arguably better and more highly touted. You lose Harold Perkins and you replace him with the SEC's leading tackler and TJ Dottery out of Ole Miss. Your edge position, you lose both edge pieces and you bring in Jordan Ross, former five-star out of Tennessee, and Princewill Umamielen out of Ole Miss, who is a force to be reckoned with on the outside. So, but like I'm saying all this about how good the team is, and that scares me. Like I truthfully, that does scare me. Talking about how good this team is on
Awfully
paper.
reminiscent of last year.
I mean, but the thing is, no, actually, I can't really say anything because I was very, very high on this team last year, and it did not go well. In fact, we on TikTok today we actually posted a video of Connor talking about athletes that they'll defend with their life. Kind of the picture of one guy versus a million, and mine was Garrett Nussmeier. I will continue to defend Garrett
Stand
Nussmeier
on it,
until the day
baby.
I die. Um, this year I'm not doing that with Sam Levitt. Just gonna be honest. Let's put that out there. Everybody listening, I'm not doing that with Sam Levitt. Okay, I don't know anything about this guy, but this team is way too good on paper and really on the field if you look at fall camp. But Lane Kiffin's known to drop a few games and a few games that he shouldn't. Notably, in 2024, he lost to LSU, who was the inferior team. He lost to Florida, who was not good that year, and he lost to Kentucky at home. And that scares me this year. And that's going to lead me into my record prediction. I do think LSU goes 10-2, but those losses are going to be at Auburn, which Owen talked about. He thinks Auburn's going to lose. I
Like,
unfortunately think LSU's going to lose. And the other one is Texas, just because I think that's really a toss-up game at night at home, and I think Texas is very, very good. But I'll go through the whole thing. Clemson week one, I think Clemson gets. I mean, I think Dabo. This is last year. Clemson. I think LSU goes in first game under Lane Kiffin and just comes out firing, and they win by 2, 3 touchdowns maybe. Then you got La Tech. That's a layup. And then the game that everyone in the country is going to be probably watching and talking about September 19th in Vaught Hemingway in Oxford against Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin better bring a bulletproof vest for this game. Let me just say that it's not. It's going to get ugly before the game. I mean, we saw at Tennessee he had mustard and golf balls thrown at him. I can only imagine what these Ole Miss kids are going to throw at him. So then I do think they win that game. I do think that Ole Miss they're just not very good, in my opinion. I think that, like you said, I don't like the hire of Pete Golding. He didn't do very well at Bama. He got ran out of Tuscaloosa because his defense wasn't good, and Ole Miss hired him as a head coach to run the defense. So, I mean, that's a choice for sure. Then you got A&M, where I think LSU is going to be coming off an emotional win at Ole Miss, but I do think the way that A&M embarrassed LSU a season ago is going to propel them this year to kind of have a chip on their shoulder and beat them in McNeese and Kentucky and Mississippi State. I think you win all three of those. Then, like I said, Auburn. I do think you lose to Auburn in Jordan Hare at 11 a.m., which does favor LSU, actually. Not playing Auburn at night in Jordan Hare is, I love that as an LSU fan, but I do think Auburn does win that game. Then you got a bye week and you got Alabama. And the hope is for me as an LSU fan that Bama has, I mean, fallen off a cliff at this point. I'll go look at their schedule up until this point. I know they played Georgia before LSU. I'm not sure about Tennessee. Let me look this up. Okay, so they play. Okay, Bama's schedule's rough. They got Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas A&M all 3 weeks before they play LSU. So maybe if they go 0-3, which is highly likely, and they're sitting at what is that, 5-3, coming into LSU, and LSU wins that game, I fully expect the board to be
Oh
40
yeah,
ounce bounce.
yeah.
He's gone if he loses that game, and he has 4 losses before the second week of November. So I do think LSU does win that game after all that. And then Texas, I do think they lose that game. It's just a game that LSU's going to lose. Texas is a very good team. They're going to be coming off another emotional win against Bama. And Texas is going to come in. I do think they win. Then you travel to Tennessee, who I'm not very high on, and then Arkansas. And I do think you win those two games to finish 10-2 and have but the 8-9 seed in the playoff. Not gonna be hosting a home game, which would be awesome to host the playoff game in Death Valley. But I do think they travel on the road. And I'll say this, I don't think LSU's winning the Natty this year. And I think that that is an unfair expectation to put on Lane Kiffin in year one at a new school with a completely new roster. Even though that is the new age of this game in college football, that is very unfair. I mean, Kurt Signetti, it took him 2 years. Now, he was at Indiana. He didn't have the resources that Lane Kiffin has at LSU. But I don't think year one Natty expectation is fair. So that is going to be my LSU prediction and rundown.
That's the thing, though. I agree with you from the Lane Kiffin perspective. In fairness to him, the expectation week or year one should not be championship or bust.
Hmm.
But the thing is, you have, call it as it is, $50 million to play with.
Yeah.
And that roster, uh, it's kind of hard not to have those high aspirations for your team. I
Hmm.
think you hit it spot on that it's playoff. Like you absolutely should make the playoff. That's the expectation. Championship, I do think that's a little bit unreasonable, but I think that's well said.
So I do have a question about that because I think it's a dangerous way to live year one with a
Yeah.
quote unquote new head coach. I mean, Lane Kiffin's been around. I do
Yeah.
think it's a dangerous way to live. And like you were saying during your prediction, this team, same way as Auburn will go as the quarterback goes, as Sam Levitt goes. They'll go as he goes. Is he healthy?
I mean,
Everything out
Lane
of
Kiffin
camp.
has said, yeah, everything has been positive so far. There hasn't been
Okay.
any,
My only question, not bringing him to SEC media days was wild to me.
yeah, that was an uproar in LSU media as well,
It
that he
was it
wasn't,
was like you if you want to make this conversation not about Sam Levitt's health, just take him to SEC media days.
Yeah.
yeah. But I think Lane Kiffin's like that. Like
Lane Kiffin would do some petty
he's an
stuff
odd
like
guy. I mean, he's our head
Yeah,
coach, but he is a strange
he
guy.
is.
I
He
mean,
is. He is. I mean, it's just like they're not bringing him and like hearing everything out of Tennessee when Tennessee was looking at him. It's like everybody, like national media, local media, they're all like, "Oh, Levitt's hurt. He's hurt." But then
mhm.
it's like he not it's not necessarily a flip, but he doesn't go to Tennessee. He goes to LSU, and then everybody's like, "Oh, well, now he's Lane's quarterback, so it's okay."
Yeah, that does spook me a bit.
It
Um,
that's the only reason I'm not super high on LSU is because I don't know what their quarterback's going to look like.
it's fair.
he
It's very
spoke
fair.
today to the media, and it was everything LSU fans wanted to hear. So take that for what you will. But I
He
mean,
also didn't know Louisiana was a real place. So I don't know if you caught that in the
Well,
and
uh
and also looking back to when LSU was, in their quarterback hunt, thank God it wasn't Sorsby, you know?
oh my God.
Like we could
Yeah,
be having a
oh,
completely different conversation right now.
oh man,
very
if y'all
true.
had Sorsby and everything that went on with him went on, I'd be like,
Right.
yeah, LSU's the bottom feeder this year.
Yeah, right.
Whew, God, you want to talk about dodging a bullet. I mean, that
Yeah.
was whew. And I wanted Swordsby. I'm just gonna be completely honest.
Me
I
too.
say
I
I'll tell
wanted
you
Swordsby over Levitt.
one of the wildest things when it came to the transfer portal this year is hearing almost no hype around Byron Brown because it was like everybody knew where he was going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And something that I mentioned in one of my podcasts is like, I want you to guys just like take a step back and think about if Byron Brown doesn't go to Auburn and he goes to LSU, how much hype there is.
Right.
It's like this dude's gonna win the Heisman. Like,
yeah.
and it's like,
I,
he makes that almost lateral move to Auburn, essentially playing for the same offense, and is like,
mhm.
oh, well, we'll see how it translates. We'll see how this, and it's like, well, guys, like, if he goes to Alabama, he goes to LSU, it's like, you guys are going to talk about him like he's a Heisman quarterback.
Which
So let's be
yeah,
Media,
consistent.
baby.
which honestly
Yeah.
makes me respect Byron Brown a little more that he chose
Yeah.
to do that instead of going to the Ohio States or
Oh
the
man,
Yeah.
LSU's
the amount of money that I heard being thrown around at him, ridiculous.
at Byron Brown.
Yes.
Okay. You,
Uh,
okay. Are you comfortable sharing a number? Because I actually have no idea. I
uh,
know LSU's giving Levitt about 5-6 million, I think,
yeah,
somewhere in that ballpark.
we're talking tens of millions of dollars.
Whew. Okay.
For Byron. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
But
Auburn
like
had
I
that kind of
said,
bread.
well, so that's the thing. Auburn did not end up paying that.
Okay.
Right.
Thank gosh.
Making that lateral move to Auburn, I think his number is at 3.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
But there were your schools, your Ohio States, your Oregons that are
Oh, they
like,
were offering him to. Oh my God. Okay, I thought you
yeah,
meant Auburn. Oh,
no, no,
okay,
no,
that
no,
makes
no,
more sense. That makes way more sense.
no, the schools that were really wanting to get after him, and LSU could be in that conversation. I have no idea, but the
They
schools
definitely
that,
were.
yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, you're talking 8, 9, $10 million
That's
to come play quarterback for a year, and I'm
for
like,
one
well, I
year.
mean,
I,
I'm like, that's crazy. But you look at the group of guys that just lumped in with the 3,000, 1,000 club.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's only
Um,
12 other guys all time.
mhm.
that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I mean, more respect to Byron Brown for picking that
Yeah,
instead of going to chase a bag and maybe not doing anything else after that.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. I mean, he could have set himself up for life, but he wants to go, like he said during media days, he wants to follow Golish and he wants to help build this culture. And
mhm,
I respect him a ton for that.
100%. I
100%.
wish. I mean, I wish we almost had Chambliss. Let's just put that like Chambliss can say all he wants.
Oh
He
yeah.
was coming out. He was 100% coming to LSU. Him and Kewan Lacey until Ole Miss threw the bag at him. But
Yeah.
they end up with Sam Levitt, and I am that's kind of why I don't want to say LSU's like a natty team because I don't know anything about Sam Levitt. The
I
argument I
do.
keep hearing is 2 years ago he went to the playoff, but he also had Cam Scatterbo who ran for 1,700 yards, and he had a first round pick at wide receiver in Jordan Tyson.
I have
And then last year
serious
he
questions
played,
about Levitt.
yeah, last year he plays half a year, gets injured, a bad injury that Cam Newton suffered, the Liz Frank injury,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and it was tough to come back from. I mean, all we're hearing is he's coming back perfectly fine. There was a clip of him jumping up and dunking the ball through the goalpost,
Right.
so it looks fine. But that's in training camp, in fall camp. That's not game
Yeah.
speed against Clemson on September 5th. So I guess
Yeah.
we'll have to see that.
That's my only question when it comes to LSU really this year is
Hmm.
quarterback. It really is because I mean, I really would not just because I'm on this podcast with y'all, but I really would put them higher.
Hmm.
But I do have them in that same tier as Auburn just because I
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know one how healthy he is, no matter what they say. You don't know until you strap him up, like you said.
Hmm.
But I don't know how healthy he is. And then it's like 2 years ago, he had a good year. It wasn't a great year.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he gets injured halfway through the year last year, and it's like, how good do we really expect Sam Levitt to be?
There's
Like,
definitely
is
some unanswered questions there, no doubt.
yeah, like is he that guy, or did he look that good because the threat of the running game at ASU was so heavy that year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
There's
only
a
time
bunch
will
of
tell.
different variables yet to be
I, d-
Yeah,
tested.
I do think that a Lane Kiffin offense will be able to mask some of those, like
I
some of
agree.
his deficiencies, though. Like especially with
Yeah,
the amount of receivers that LSU has, and a three-headed monster at running back right now with
yeah.
Harlem Berry, Caden Durham, and Dylan Jones, who's emerging in fall camp. So I do think a
Super,
Lane Kiffin
super high
offense
on
will,
Caden Durham.
yeah, which surprisingly he's RB3 right now, which is
That's crazy.
unbelievable. But there was one guy, Brooks Austin, I think is his name, the film guy. He had a quote on our podcast I watched that said Sam Levitt's going to get an NFL GM fired because Lane Kiffin's going to make him look like a
Yeah.
first round talent, and somebody's going to take him early, and he's not going to be the guy that everybody thinks he is.
It's going to be similar to what Ty Simpson's going to be in the NFL.
Oh my God! Don't even. I mean, whew.
You should have seen our live reaction when
Oh my God!
the Rams
I,
drafted him.
we were clowning him.
Uh,
I'm going to be completely honest. I mean,
oh, dude.
phew,
One, I mean, I was clowning him because where he comes from, but
yeah,
two, two, it was like you've got all these quarterbacks you could have picked, and you picked
I know. Like,
Ty Simpson,
Yeah.
and then the interview after was just like, "This is Matt's team." I was like, "Oh God!" Like you could tell he didn't want him.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Hmm. All right. Well, look, before we get out of here, each of Brock and Owen are going to give a sleeper in the SEC this year, a team that maybe doesn't have as high expectations, but they think they'll shoot up the rankings. Owen, we'll start with you.
So mine's a little odd because this team made the playoffs last year. But I do think a lot of people got pretty low on them after the playoffs, saying that their quarterback wasn't up to snuff and that big games really broke them down. And that's Texas A&M.
hmm
Okay.
Um, I think Texas A&M can really take a step forward. One more, like I said, one more year with Marcel Reed. I'm a Marcel Reed truther. I think he's really good. I think he did get exposed a little bit last year when he played some higher level competition because they had a very easy schedule up to almost the playoffs. But I want to say they're a sleeper this year because I think a lot of people got down on them after the playoffs, saying that Marcel Reed could not perform in big games. And I just don't think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see it up close and in person. Um,
Hmm.
Unfortunately. Well, some of us. But my sleeper team for this year, who I honestly think could win a national championship, and that is the Oklahoma Sooners. I kind of hinted at it when I did my rankings or my our tier list. I mean, this team is always gonna be good on defense with Brent Venables. They were the best defense in the country a season ago. And then on offense, they got John Mateer back, who I think is a top three quarterback in the SEC when healthy. I mean, he was lighting it up a season ago when he was healthy, and then he gets
Yeah,
injured and he comes back and he didn't look the same, and they still made the playoff. Like I don't think people understand they still made the playoff with a bad offense. And they come back this year. They got Satania back, who I think is very good on the outside. They got Mateer coming back on at quarterback. I think this team has legitimate national championship like hopes. Like this team could. I'm glad LSU avoids them this year. By the
me
way,
too.
like this team is very
Mm.
very good. They're very talented everywhere. I'm very high on the Oklahoma Sooners.
After what happened to Auburn at Oklahoma last year, I'm very glad Auburn doesn't play them this year as well.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching that game. Very
Hmm.
disappointing for the Auburn faithful. I agree with both of you guys. I really do think A&M is going to be a scary team this year. I've always been very high on Marcel Reed because I saw it up close and personal. Brock kind of saw it, but that's a story for a different time. Any parting words, Owen, Brock, before we get on out of here?
But
Go
guys,
Tigers.
I just go Tigers from my point of view, War Eagle. But
You
I
got a
appreciate you guys
GEAUX Tigers and just a
and a
Geo.
Geo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been fun. I'd like to do it again, sit here
Oh,
and talk some
definitely.
ball.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Unless
Look,
we.
when LSU plays Auburn, I
Oh
mean, we
yeah.
gotta spin this back.
I was about to say, unless we somehow become friends with Cam Newton, Owen, you will be back for the for the Auburn game when we do
Hey,
like a little our own college game day, and you will be our guest
yeah.
picker. We're gonna put
Awesome.
that in stone right now.
Awesome.
But one last time, Owen, you want to plug your socials? Where can everybody
Yeah,
find
go
you?
ahead.
And we'll get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Auburn After Dark, everywhere you can find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, everywhere you can find your podcast, Auburn After Dark. If you look on TikTok and Instagram, Auburn After Dark as well. Links to my podcast are in the bios on both of those. So if you guys want to check it out, like, subscribe. I'm sure I'll be doing a collaboration with these guys here shortly,
Definitely.
and I'll have it up on my channel as well. So,
Yep.
War Eagle.
Can't wait.
I'm gonna
Go
pop up
Tigers.
all the socials here for Owen. And of course, follow Big Easy Blitz, all socials. Same thing,
Yeah,
same deal.
yeah. If you
Owen,
have a
thank you
social
for
media,
joining,
you can
man.
find us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yep, and we're not done, baby. We're gonna spin it back at some point. And for the time being, God bless everyone. We're gonna get on out of here. See ya.
Peace.